Yes, it's true. My orchids are still here outside. Both day and night temperature are still quite nice, so there is no reason to take them home. In fact, the temperatures in the house are lower than outside, so only the oncidium were taken in, as they like it cooler and do very well inside the house. Right now I'm more worried about my seedlings. I mean the big babies Teresa brought me from the States last summer, more exactly about 2 months ago. And here they are. They are growing fine. To my surprise, they have doubled their size since I got them late August. Since then, they have been conditioned in leca. The vandas have been in their little baskets with the leca beads around the roots, and they are being watered every day. This is the same regime I will keep during winter. This ascocenda is doing great. The roots are dry now because I have not yet watered them today, but you can see new roots, and the only old root she had is branching. And the leaves have grown so much. The Mocara had originally the best root system of both of them. The old roots are starting to branch. Maybe you cannot see because they are dry now, but certainly you can see that thick root at the base. The leaves have also grown a lot. Finally, let's see the cattleyas. At first I just watered the leca beads every day, and when they got acclimatized to the new medium, I placed them in semi-hydro, I mean with permanent water deposit below. They seem to have accepted this regime quite well, and they are doing fine. But cooler days are coming, and I do not want the cattleyas sitting over a deposit of water all the time. More, I want them to dry faster and stay dry longer to avoid rotting of the delicate roots. So let's check their roots and see what will I do to give them additional air circulation during the coming cooler temperatures. This is the name of this one. It was the largest and still is the largest of them all. And look at these roots. The old ones have adapted very well and are branching. There is a new shoot, and this one has produced new roots. And there's another new growth coming. The plant on this pot has split into two, as I was looking at it this morning. I mean, there were two plants entangled together, which I didn't see when I unbagged them. Both of them seem to have lost the old roots, and they grew new ones. And both plants have new growths. On this pot, this is the same hybrid as the previous one. This seems to be just one seedling so far. It lost most of the old roots, but produced new ones, and it also grew a new pseudobulb. This is the most complicated of them all. When I unbagged this plant, she has split into 3 seedlings. These pieces are very floppy and unruly. They are tall and heavy, no way I can sit them straight, either together or each one in its individual pot. I found it impossible to tie them together, because their growth does not match nicely. So I decided to tie them to the sides of this pot. But that is not working very well either. These seedlings hardly have any roots, but they are growing new shoots. But these new growths are very low, so I cannot bury them into the lake anymore. What can I do to hydrate them without getting the new growths wet? Well, firstly, I decide I have to take them out of these ties. Now you can see better. This piece has a new growth, and here you can see that in spite of the small size, this orchid has one of those rhizomes that must be potted horizontally in order to avoid a creeping habit of the orchid. That is quite difficult at this stage, the rhizome being so small. 2 new shoots on this piece. This one has a good root, and there is a lump there announcing the coming of a new shoot. Well, I'll put it aside, and I'll think what it will be best to accommodate these babies. And now I'm going to pot these Cattleya seedlings, which I will do in mesh pots. I'm starting with the largest of them. That was fast, and it's now ready. Next one. Well, I still am undecided about this one. So for the moment, I believe I have to give it time to grow roots. And I have no choice but to leave these pieces loose in the mesh pot. The mesh pot is going inside another pot with lake at the bottom, which I will water frequently to give the plant some hydration by evaporation of the humidity below. Hope this will do the trick. without making the new shoots rot. These two were together, but now I am potting them separately for the moment. Don't want to plant them too low to avoid the rot of the new shoot, but these leca beads dry fast, mainly at the surface. Just checking these roots. For a moment they looked too transparent to me, but no, they are okay. This one is not quite in the center of the pot, which seems unruly, but it's okay. I'm not going to mess with these roots anymore. Well, they're all done, but I still have to water them, and I decided to give them today a bath in seaweed fertilizer, which apparently helps with the root growth. And so that is what I have here in this bowl, water with seaweed fertilizer. It's about 250 ppm. I will not use this fertilizer anymore until spring. During winter I will feed lightly these seedlings with my usual fertilizer, which is rain mix. And I will still add some calcium nitrate every watering, as I usually do. Although rain mix has calcium in it, I like to add a little bit more. And I like to give them some Epsom salts every 2 or 3 weeks. This is the way I usually water my Vanda seedlings, now with seaweed fertilizer, but I do the same with simple water when I flush or when I use my rain mix fertilizer. Sometimes I leave them to soak for half an hour or so, but this is enough. When it's too hot, I usually do it twice a day. And these small cattleyas will be watered the same way as the Vandaceous seedlings, during the winter of course, for a fast wet dry cycle. As you can see, there is no water deposit. That allows extra drainage and fast drying up of the leca and the roots. I feel more comfortable with this winter setup because it allows me to get a better control of the amount of water in the roots. I like to wet this aerial root too. The 3 seedlings in this pot will get a different routine, and we already saw why this happens. There will be some wet leca bits below the mesh pot, eventually with a bit of water, but no leca at all around the base of the plant to prevent rotting of the new shoots. If they make it to spring, which I hope so, they will get their water deposit back. But of course, as long as temperatures are nice and warm around here, they will stay outdoors, and I will have to keep an eye on them. Eventually, I might have to water them twice a day to prevent dehydration. They will stay here for the moment. However, at the first sign of cooling temperatures, they will go straight in the house. The other cattleyas, the mature ones, will stay here as long as possible. A bit of cooling will do them some good, or at least no harm. But these ones are just babies. They are more fragile, and I want them to get to spring. Well, this is it for the moment. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.